Hi there. How are you? Wake. And that's we're gonna call that the victory right now. Kind of want to go back to bed. And three, two, one. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. That's very warm. Just making sure we got some stuff to talk about later, and we do. Well, yesterday was kind of a tiring day, kind of fried. If you watched yesterday's episode, you know that yesterday was my first day really leaving the house for a client in like a month, and it went well, but it was more emotionally tiring than I had expected. I, wasn't around people that long or that much, and we weren't talking about particularly intense things, but just the routine of being home all this time and changing that took a toll. I was tired. My plants barely survived. I brought them home. I forgot my plants in the office, and sent a bunch of email. We did a bunch of stuff. Episode 500's on track. There's just so much going on. I'm really excited with everything that we've got going on. And yeah, things are just they're going well. They're going well. What else did I do yesterday? Went to Costco, grabbed a bunch of food, a bunch of things I needed. Tried to go to Home Depot. There was a line out the door, and I didn't feel like waiting. It was kind of cold and rainy, and I didn't really need anything that badly. I want to check some prices on some stuff I want to do in the yard this summer, but it wasn't that important. And one of the things I've definitely noticed, I don't know if other people have noticed this, people's driving has gotten worse. I think people are forgetting how to drive. My neck is really tight. I need a massage pretty badly on my neck. When this is all over, I think that's something I'll treat myself to. Go see one of my massage therapist friends and say, "Fix my neck, please." So that was yesterday. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. What about today? What's today? Today's Tuesday. I have nothing, no appointments on there. That's not true. The vet's coming to look at the cat's leg. She's got a limp, and we're not sure why. Vet's coming to look at the cat's leg. Other than that, I have no appointments today. Everything else is just getting work done, dealing with plants, doing all the normal day-to-day, around-the-house stuff as I get work done. And that's great. I've got some writing I've got to do for some clients. Came up with like 3 more ideas for books that haven't been written. We need a better development cycle for books. There's a lot of books that we could do. What else? Not a lot. Not a lot. I'm kind of looking forward to there not being a lot today. Next installment of Whistlekick Live is next Tuesday night. Realized that this morning when I woke up. Gabe, we got some planning to do, buddy. To be fair, Gabe has been very responsive to my emails. I have not been responsive to his. I think I've got one in there. Actually, are we talking today? I think we have a call today. I think that's what's going on. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I gotta look at my email and everything before I decide how my day is going. But it's supposed to be a nice day today. It's supposed to be nice tomorrow. Stacy says woohoo for Whistlekick Live. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get outside. I worked out last night, so I'm gonna try and go for a walk after work today. All right, let's dig into the questions, the comments, the feedback. Yes, we have a call at 3 o'clock today, Gabe says. Good. Thank you, buddy. All right. So apparently today, April 28th, is both Clean Comedy Day and Superhero Day. Now, of course, it being Clean Comedy Day, if you know Frank at all, you know he couldn't resist sending in a number of clean jokes. Some of these almost look like dad jokes, if you're a fan. Clean jokes for Clean Comedy Day. Did you hear about the carrot detective? He got to the root of every case. Why was there thunder and lightning in the lab? The scientists were brainstorming. What did Delaware? A New Jersey. Good stuff. I love those jokes. I do, because I think what makes them great is that they're not great and everyone knows that. But there's humor in them that everyone can understand. Anyone can tell the jokes. They just work. They're just kind of universal. It's fun. I like when we do these themed days. So let's move on to the ones that give me something to respond to. Let's see about Superhero Day. Who is your favorite fictional superhero? Oh, that's so tough. It really is. Growing up, it was Spider-Man. If I had to say which superhero I think I most like, it's Spider-Man. I love Batman because he's not perfect. You know, he's not Superman. Superman just seems to be this symbol for good, and it's great, but it's hard to relate to. Batman, I think, is much easier to relate to. He makes mistakes. He's fallible. I also really like the modern incarnation, the modern version in the movies of Iron Man. I think Robert Downey Jr. does a great job. Again, for the same reasons. Fallible. Smart. Strong moral compass. I appreciate when superheroes are relatable. I'm not going to relate to somebody who's... Honestly, Marvel's done a really good job of making just about everybody relatable. But I go back to Superman as the example. When I think of every version of Superman I've ever seen, I don't see any of myself in there. You know, I see something I aspire to, but not something that I'm ever going to achieve in being that, I guess, perfect, that selfless. So to have something more relatable, I think makes it easier to enjoy the stories. I think that's a big part of storytelling. We talked about storytelling yesterday. In order for stories to truly be powerful, they have to you have to see yourself in them or understand how they could happen. I think this is why a lot of bad science fiction is so niche, because people can't understand the story, they can't understand the technology, they can't understand the people, because it's just so futuristic. And I say bad sci-fi because good sci-fi can do all of those things and still find a way to make you feel like you're relating. So who's my favorite superhero? If you made me pick one, if it's one superhero to watch, it's Batman. I'll answer it that way. Do I have a favorite? I can't read. Do I have a martial art? Hero's not the right word. role model or mentor, inspiration, those words are better. And I guess to some people those words kind of equate to heroic. I Sensei Fumio Demura is definitely admire because of what he's done his entire life. He's given his entire life to martial arts, and he has made a tremendous impact on martial arts. And it's such an honor to have spoken with him. To take someone that you look up to that much. I hope I can accomplish half of what he's done for martial arts. I mean, I hope I can accomplish more. I will be quite satisfied if I can do half. Who else is on that list? Bill Wallace is on that list. There are a lot of people on that list. When I think of it this way, I'm looking at people who have done things that I admire, who have given of themselves to the arts and to other people to train them. And I've met and spoken with so many. You know, when people ask a question like this, and I'm not saying Frank did it this way, but if a typical person off the street asked me this question, I would imagine that they would think I would say, oh, well, you know, Bruce Lee is my martial arts hero, or Chuck Norris is my martial arts hero. I don't know Chuck Norris. I've met some of his students. I've had the chance to train with them. I don't know Bruce Lee. He died before I was born. I've had the chance to speak with his daughter. I've had the chance to read his books and watch his movies. And both men have contributed greatly. Probably the two most prominent figures in martial arts history, at least as we see martial arts today. But what makes something heroic? What makes someone a hero? It's somebody doing something that they didn't have to do, that most people would not do, with an element of self-sacrifice. I don't know either of those gentlemen or their stories on an intimate enough level to say that the things that they did were or were not for their own benefit or for the benefit of others. Purely speculative on my part. But there are things that I have seen and heard from so many, from the two that I mentioned, from Demura and Wallace, who things that I know they have done purely for the benefit of others. There are stories that we've heard on the show time and again where people gave of themselves, or honestly, more often than that, their instructors gave of themselves. And it happens so often in martial arts. And that's why it's hard for me to say, you know, this person or that person. Martial artists are my heroes. Martial arts teachers are my heroes. People who go to competitions on the weekend and give up their whole day to sit in a chair and referee and not get paid and sometimes barely get any food, and they're spending their own gas money. Why are they doing it? A lot of them are doing it to be part of something and to give back to something that gave to them. It's pretty selfless. Does it save anyone's life? Probably not in the way that we think when we say those words. but it could change someone's life. All superheroes don't wear capes. Do I have any heroes in my life? Stacy says, but yes, it also saves lives. It can. It absolutely can. Do I have any heroes in my life? Yes. No. Let me think of that. My knee-jerk reaction is yes, but I'm trying to think of who those people are. Let me answer this a little bit differently and tell you why I'm struggling to answer it in that way. When you say someone is a hero, you are elevating them, putting them on a pedestal. Most people don't like being elevated in that way. Most people don't like being set up. I also don't like setting myself in a subordinate position. Are there people who are better than me at things? Yes. Or do they have higher social standing? Yes. Do they command my respect? Yes. Does that mean that they are superior? No. I spent a lot of my life lifting other people up with and without their permission. I don't mean physically. Looking up to people. And when you look up to someone, you are reinforcing this notion that they are better than you. One of the best things I ever did for my own growth and self-esteem was to stop doing that. When I have conversations with people who have accomplished tremendous things, things that I have not, people who, by most societal measures, because they've accomplished more than me, it would be seen as more valuable or more worthy of attention. And I don't argue any of those things. But I have challenged myself to treat them like a peer, to act like a peer. Now that doesn't mean that I don't respect them. It doesn't mean that I don't lead with tremendous respect. But to say someone is a hero in the way that most people use the term, in the way that I think of the term, is to elevate that person to a status that you're saying you will never or unlikely to obtain. Gabe says, not all heroes wear capes, especially if they visit the lady from The Incredibles. Yes. Good movie. I like the Pixar movies. So when I talk to these amazing people on the show, when I meet them out in the world, when I run across people who have done phenomenal things, by not elevating them to this heroic status that I say I can't achieve, I find myself more inspired. I can achieve what they have. I can do that. If they did it, I can do it. And I find that to be more motivating and more beneficial to myself. And I suspect more people need to hear that message. One of the worst things that we do to ourselves is to box ourselves in and say what we can and cannot do. I truly believe I can accomplish anything I want. Now, it's a question of whether or not I want to put in the effort. Back when I was in high school, I was this high, not a very tall person. I'm 5'7", barely. 5'7" if you round up. And I watched a lot of basketball, played a lot of basketball, and I did a bunch of research and realized it is not impossible for me to learn how to dunk, for me to be able to jump high enough to dunk a basketball. I've been thinking about this the last few days. I'm not sure why, but we'll talk about it. But I realized the reward of doing that, of learning how to do that, was not worth the effort. It was not going to be easy for me to do that. Could have done it. Still could. I can jump as high now as I ever could, maybe even higher. Maybe we should do a program on jumping height. Oh. But it wasn't worth the effort. The reward wasn't worth the input. The equation didn't balance out for me. We've been doing martial arts radio for over 5 years. That was a lot of work. It's been a lot of work. It's been a tremendous amount of time and money. Worth it. We're almost at episode 500. Most podcasts don't get beyond 10. I've tried to look up statistical data on that, can't find anything. But very few podcasts go beyond a few episodes. And then the longer you set the metric, the fewer that you see. You do get some shows that go beyond 500 episodes, but most of them have more than, they've got 3 to 5 episodes a week. So I'm proud. I'm proud of what we've done. And I know that whatever I want to accomplish, I can do. Am I going to be a professional model? No. But I bet I could get some amateur gigs if that was important to me. Am I going to be a pro basketball player? No. But I bet I could get good enough to play on some rec teams and, get better than I've ever been. But that's not important to me. Stacy says, heroes should be viewed not as better than another, but say as those doing good for a community, whatever that is. Thinking grocery clerks, Instacart drivers, teachers, look to the helpers. So I am not going to say that people working in grocery stores are not heroes. I'm not going to say that. There are people who will say that. There are people who will say unequivocally that those people are heroes. I think the heroic depends on the why. We talk about the why on this show often. If you do a thing, let's see. Let's talk about a charitable donation. Let's say I donate $100 to the local United Way. If I do that strictly for tax purposes, is that as selfless as if I do it regardless of tax purposes? Maybe I don't even think about how it impacts my taxes, but I want to donate to the organization. I would say the why matters. If someone has a job with Instacart, picking up, dropping off food, and they take pride in their work, and they recognize that they are helping people right now, and that and that part of their motivation, maybe not to do the work, but to do the work well, is to help others. That is heroic. If the only reason they're doing it is because they need the money, that is not heroic. Well, the why matters. We overuse the word hero in this country, and it devalues it. We like to say everyone's a hero. Why someone does something makes it heroic or not. Now, the reason, the why can be subjective. I could say, I think so-and-so is because of the reason they're doing it, and you could look at the same person doing the same thing for the same reason, say that's not heroic to you, and that's okay. It is subjective. Most important things are subjective. So, I think that's a good place to end it. I didn't think we'd have enough to talk about today. I hope you have a great day. I hope you get stuff done. I hope you feel accomplished. I hope you feel happy. And I hope you leave some questions or comments for me to respond to tomorrow. Drop them below, and make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because we do this show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, here on YouTube. Check out Martial Arts Radio, and if you want to support what we're doing, 2 great ways to do it. Make a purchase at whistlekick.com. Use the code FIRSTCUP15, saves you 15%, or contribute to the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. And if you're donating $5 a month or more, you get more stuff. We give you more content. So check that out. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Peace.